Namaste, beautiful ones. Welcome to this practice that is themed on our heart center or the subtle energy center, which is called Anahata Chakra. So we're going to spend our practice, our brief little practice today, focusing here. But it's also just a lovely practice if you're really interested in releasing some tension, in the shoulders, across the chest and the upper back. That's going to be really lovely for you. So we're going to start, beautiful ones, darling ones, seated just for a very short time, just to arrive, and then we'll start to move together. So I'll meet you in a seat. I'm sitting up on a couple of blocks today, but you might sit on a cushion, a folded up towel, just whatever you've got nearby. And this is also a gentle reminder that this practice is pregnancy friendly. I myself am pregnant, about halfway there, but it's not specifically prenatal. Okay, but if you are pregnant, this is going to be a lovely practice for you, and I hope you enjoy. Whether you're pregnant or not, everything today is about movement and breath coming from a place of self-respect and self-care. Okay, so now that you're in your seat, you might rest the hands on the lap, or you might join me and bring one hand on top of the other on the heart, and just take one or two deeper, fuller breaths, bringing your awareness into the body. And after you've taken those breaths, just noticing your posture around your heart space and the sensations that are present there for you today, as best you can, not needing to categorize them as good or bad, just noticing. Maybe there's a feeling of tightness or openness, ease, or a feeling of being rounded or hunched over. And gently now, with a light touch, just deepening the breath, elongating the breath a little. And as you do this, knowing that the heart and the breath are so intimately connected. The heart is connected to the central tendon of your diaphragm. So every time you breathe and the diaphragm moves, it's gently moving and massaging your heart. And just for the last moment, with your inner gaze towards the heart, noticing what's present, and if you like, that might serve as an inspiration for your practice today, or for an intention for your practice today. And then we'll just gently blink our eyes open if they were closed. And let's come and meet on hands and knees together, all fours. Just placing your blocks or your blanket or your cushion off to one side. And we'll have our knees hip-width distance apart, knees under the hips. And let's come into a big step with the hands forward. But without lowering the head down today, we're going to take a little variation of anahatasana. So before we start to lower the chest, let's walk our hands about 45 degrees over to the right side, and then just gently start to lower the chest and the head between the arms. Rooting down through your fingers and your thumbs. And if you like, just gently leaning a little more into or toward the left shoulder. And then we'll press down, gently rise, and take our time to walk the hands over to the left-hand side, about 45 degrees to the left, and gently lowering again, chest towards earth. Each breath caressing your heart. And then we'll inhale and press down to rise and step the hands sweetly back underneath your shoulders and just stay as you are. I'm going to face you. But from here, from all fours, we'll step our right leg out to the right today, right foot about in line with your left knee. And then we'll bring our left arm underneath the archway of the right arm and lay onto the left shoulder and the left ear here. Top fingertips can reach upwards to the sky. And you might choose to stay here, or you might choose to rotate the top arm, the right arm now, internally so the palm faces backwards to the space behind you. Bend the elbow and bring the back of the hand to rest on the lower back, or fingertips to reach around to the left side waist or the top of the left thigh. Just a little half bind. And then we'll release and gently make our way out and back up to all fours. And we'll just switch sides. Straight to second side, left leg out this time, and right arm coming in underneath the left. Left fingertips to sky, and a nice little pointer here to experiment with in your body is to feel your right shoulder and your right arm, the arm that's on the floor, pressing down into the mat. And choosing to stay, fingertips to sky, or taking that little half bind again. Everything with loving intention, right? Choosing the kindest option for you today. Treating your body with the friendliness that it deserves. And then we'll let that go once again. Gently return to all fours, hands and knees together. And before we come into our first down dog, let's go ahead and step our right foot forward between our hands and come into Anjaneyasana. Both hands to front thighs front thigh to begin with. And then we'll reach our left arm upwards. Fingertips reaching, really reaching through the left arm. Feeling that beautiful sense of length and space through the left side of the heart. And then we'll bend our left elbow, bring the hand to the upper back, And you might stay here or now reach the right arm back behind you. Internally rotate the arm, bend the elbow, and bring the arms into Gomukhasana arms. So fingertips reaching toward one another. And again, you might choose to allow the fingertips to actually meet. For me, even though I know that physically I've got that capacity, I'm choosing that the kindest option for me is not to strive and over effort today. So just choosing what's most loving for you always. And then let's release and bring the hands to the mat. Come back to all fours for a moment. And before we go to the second side, from all fours, just take a moment to round the spine into a cat pose. This is a lovely way to just create a little bit of space and release here in the upper back, in the back of your heart space. And I find it nice just to rock a little back and forward as I have my spine here in cat pose and this gentle flexion of the spine. Just helping to ease and melt a little bit of the stickiness and fuzziness that can tend to build up here in the upper back between the shoulder blades. And then if you're really missing the opposite, if you're really missing cow pose, then you might allow yourself to lift your tail, drape the belly, draw the chest forward into a little back bend, and take a few breaths here. Maybe you rock a little bit right to left here. And then we'll find neutral, and let's go straight to second side. Left foot forward between the hands, Anjaneyasana, and right fingertips reaching to sky. And of course, because we know what's coming next, it's tempting to just want to come straight in, isn't it? But see if you can take that radical pause, which is sometimes so challenging, I know, because our day-to-day life and the pressures of life force us to rush, and just reach up through the right side body, breathe into the right side of your heart. And then once you feel that spaciousness, bend the top elbow, hand to upper back, and then choosing, if you like, left arm reaching back and coming into Gomukhasana arms. And what can be really nice here, just as you abide here for another breath or two, is just to lift the gaze a little and lift and brighten the chest. Okay, next exhale we release and come back to all fours, and let's transition into our first down dog now. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. Giving yourself time to move, to bicycle through the legs. Sometimes I feel like the most loving and friendly thing to do is to just give ourselves a little bit more time, isn't it? To take our time. And then this time from your down dog, we'll step forward again, right foot forward between the hands, but we'll come all the way up into a crescent lunge. So back knee stays lifted, reaching up through the arms. The arms are like the wings of our heart, aren't they? So doing lots of different variations with the arms and the shoulders today to create space physically in the heart space across the chest and shoulder region. So let's come into Garudasana arms. Left arm crossing over the top of right arm. Bend the elbows, lift the forearms, and you might bring backs of hands or palms of hands together. And if that's too much for you today, maybe it's hands to opposite shoulders. So whatever variation you've chosen, lifting the elbows up away from the chest. And if it feels delicious, lifting the heart and leaning back a little. And now we'll keep the legs the same, release the arms, reach them behind us, interlace the fingers and reach the knuckles back beyond your tail towards your back foot, with your shoulder blades squeezing toward one another on the upper back. And then we'll come into a twist together. So let's let that go. And it's your choice today. You might bring hands to prayer, turn to the right, left elbow to knee. Or if you want a little bit more space, you might bring left hand to floor, top arm, right arm to sky. And as we just stay in the twist, one more breath, have a sense that your front hip, your right hip, is drawing back towards your back foot, and your back hip, your left hip, is drawing forward towards the top of your mat. Last in breath. And then we'll exhale and let it go. Step back to down dog. Give yourself a lovely, luxurious breath here. And then we'll step forward and come straight to second side. Left foot forward this time. Arms reaching. Eagle arms, Garudasana arms second side. Right arm on top this time. Each breath lovingly caressing your heart. We'll stay here with the legs. Find the interlace of the hands behind you again. Lifting and brightening across the front of your chest. And then releasing to your twist. Right elbow to left knee or right hand to mat. Left fingertips to sky. And just expanding outward from your heart, out through your arms, and upward beyond the crown of your head. And then exhale to release and step back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Okay, let's come off the hands now and walk our feet up towards the hands at the top of the mat, and have your feet about hip width distance or a little wider if you're pregnant and just want to create a little more space for baby. And then from here we'll bend the knees just lightly, hips back and down, hands to heart center into a baby Utkatasana chair pose. And once again, we'll interlace the hands behind us, reach the knuckles back and down beyond our tail, keeping the knees bent. We'll lay the torso and the belly on the tops of the thighs. So now you've got knuckles reaching diagonally up and back, and crown of head and neck long
diagonally forward and down. So let's now keep the interlace like this and press into the feet. Rise to stand, lifting the torso, and we'll come into a little standing back bend, reaching the knuckles back and down towards the mat behind you, lifting the heart, firming the buttocks and gently pressing the hips forward. And when you're ready to release, you can release. Stand tall and let the arms be free. Okay, let's play with one more lovely little arm variation, which can be so delicious for your upper back and shoulders and chest. So on your in-breath, just raise and reach the arms however you like. On the out-breath, we'll fold forward. Take one halfway lift. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, hands to mat, step right foot back and bring right knee back onto the mat. This time we'll interlace the fingers, turn the palms forward, reach the arms up overhead. And you might just take a little wriggle here, side to side. Once again, just opening up sweetly, gently into the side body, unwinding through the side of your heart. And then finding center. Keep the interlace of the hands. Bring the hands to cup the back of your skull. Hug the elbows in toward one another. And then imagine you have a beach ball, an imaginary beach ball on behind your back, on the upper back. And you're just going to lift and lengthen and curl up and over the imaginary beach ball. So very gentle little back bend here through the upper back. Take another in breath. And on the out breath, let that go. Hands to mat. Step back forward. Fold over the legs. Take a moment to hold opposite elbows and just ragdoll forward. Maybe a little sway, side to side. And then letting the hands from the elbows go. Let's step left foot back. Left knee to mat. Interlace the fingers. Palms forward and reach up. Another little sway, left to right, right to left. Find center again, and just last time, this side, cup the back of the skull, hug or squeeze your elbows in. Imagine that beach ball just resting on the upper back there, just where the back of your heart is. And it's just like you want to lift up and over the imaginary beach ball. Lifting the elbows, the forearms, lifting up and curling back. Last in breath. And on the out breath, we can let go again. Hands to mat. And this time, come and step back to downward dog. If down dog doesn't feel good for you, of course, take a child's pose instead. And now let's close together. So you might rock forward to plank, or if you're pregnant and you don't feel comfortable in plank pose, you might just come onto all fours for a moment. And from plank, we're going to come into up dog, and it's really your choice. Coming over to the tops of the feet, lowering the pelvis, chest forward into like a full up dog with the front of the pelvis and the thighs and the knees lifting away from the mat. Or you might lower the knees and just come into a soft variation. That might be really nice if you are pregnant and you just want to be careful and kind with the knees and the tops of the thighs, resting on the mat. Last breath here before we exhale and release, and we'll come back into a child's pose. 2 easy breaths in child's pose. And then we'll rise together, coming up out of child's pose, and let's just take a last minute to finish as we began in a comfortable seat. Any comfortable seat is fine, kneeling or cross-legged, or if you prefer to recline, you can. Bringing the hands back into the heart, closing the eyes, traveling once again down, inner gaze to the heart center. And as the poet Mary Oliver says, just allowing the soft animal of your body to love what it loves, letting that ripple out throughout the whole body. And perhaps offering yourself the heartfelt wish, may I be happy, may I be safe, may I be at peace. Thank you, precious beings, for sharing your practice as always. It's such a delight. If you liked the practice and want to practice with me again, then subscribe so that somehow the algorithm or the technology works so that you are notified when the next practice is uploaded. That's really not my strength, that sort of thing. But have a beautiful rest of your day, your week, and I look forward to practicing with you soon.